Let's say China.
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 China. China. China.
There are no neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
You go over to China.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Trump tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel. What's he doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host.
Yes. Hello. And welcome. I am James Andrews, and you are listening to So This Happened, the only news you need if you watch between 4 and 8 hours of television every single day. It's Tuesday, the 12th of December, 2017, and I want to jump in with a story that broke a few days ago about Donald Trump watching 4 to 8 hours of news, or just television, every single day. He fired back quite strongly, claiming on Twitter that it was false, that in fact he never watches TV. He seldom watches CNN or NBC, both of which he considers fake news. And then he also went on to say that he never watches Don Lemon, who he once called the dumbest man on television. What I find funny about this particular story is CNN said on one of their programs Donald Trump is watching between 4 and 8 hours of television a day. Moments later, Donald Trump tweeted out, "They broke a story saying I watch 4 to 8 hours of television a day. It's false. I don't even watch CNN." So, okay, fine. But the question is, Mr. President, if you in fact do not watch CNN, how did you know that moments before you sent out the tweet, they were reporting on the story that you watch a lot of television? Perhaps it was in the crystal ball. Perhaps it was in the tea leaves. Or perhaps it was just on CNN, which in fact you were watching. And in news from Egypt, you like that segue, Donald Trump watching news to a news in Egypt, but there's no other way to bring that in there. Anyway, a singer from Egypt has been sent to jail for 2 years because in a music video she was apparently suggestively eating a banana. The singer, who is a 25-year-old who is professionally known as Shima, was arrested after the video sparked controversy in the country. And then today, she was found guilty and sentenced to 2 years in prison. And apparently the video she was going to make with a cucumber has been put on hold for now. And now moving on to Roy Moore. You see that I go from a person suggestively eating a banana and possibly a cucumber to Roy Moore. These segues are spectacular today. Anyway, Roy Moore gave his last rally last night before today's very important vote, and his wife had quite a lot to say, suggesting that, look, we're not racist because of this, and this. Anyway, here's what she had to say.
Fake news would tell you that we don't care for Jews. I tell you all this because I've seen it all, so I just want to set the record straight while they're here. One of our attorneys is a Jew. We have very close friends that are Jewish and rabbis, and we also fellowship with them.
Now, there's his wife saying, look, we don't hate Jews because, in fact, we have a lawyer who's Jewish. It sort of is sort of when you have a racist white person saying, no, I'm not racist at all. I love Samuel Jackson. He's brilliant. He's really good. And the other one, Lawrence Fishburne, he's really good too. But my favourite, Will Smith, is absolutely my favourite actor. And Denzel Washington. There's also Denzel. I love Denzel. Absolutely love him. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And what's her name? Oh, Halle Berry. I love Halle Berry. She's brilliant. So I'm not racist. I love them. I love, just spectacular. I love her. Morgan Freeman even. Yeah, he's brilliant too, isn't he? I love them all. That is sort of how that sounded a bit, wasn't it? So, oh, no, we have Jewish friends, rabbis even. Rabbis. We know rabbis. It's just amazing, isn't it? And, the election's going on right now. We won't know the results until late tonight or possibly even tomorrow morning. But we all hope that Alabama make the right choice. And now, on to Donald Trump. These segues are getting even better, aren't they? Well, kind of, because we went from one sex offender to another, so that one makes a little bit more sense. But it just seems that Donald Trump does not know when to keep his mouth shut. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand yesterday called for a congressional investigation into Donald Trump's allegation, or the allegations against Donald Trump of sexual misconduct. Donald Trump, of course, responded with a tweet which was completely sexist and demeaning, as you would expect. The tweet read, "Lightweight Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, a total flunky for Chuck Schumer and someone who would come to my office begging for campaign contributions not so long ago and would do anything for them, is now in the ring fighting against Trump." So when I say Donald Trump doesn't know when to shut the fuck up, we actually mean it. He is being accused of sexual assault and people are asking for a congressional hearing into it, and he fires back with a tweet insinuating that one of the people calling for the investigation would have done anything. Literally, anything. Anyway, Kirsten Gillibrand was asked by the press today what she thought about Donald Trump's tweet, and here's what she said.
It was a sexist smear attempting to silence my voice, and I will not be silenced on this issue. Neither will the women who stood up to the president yesterday, and neither will the millions of women who have been marching since the Women's March to stand up against policies they do not agree with.
Do you see this as sexual harassment by tweet?
I see it as a sexist smear. That's what it is. And it's part of the president's effort at name calling. And it's not going to silence me. It's intended to silence me. It's not going to silence the women who have stood up against him directly. And it's not going to silence the millions of women out there who have been speaking out every day since his inauguration about things they disagree with.
Anyway, Kirsten Gillibrand is not the only senator calling for the investigation. The number now is quite significant, and we'll see what happens. It's really going to come up to the men in Congress to grow some balls to actually get this going. So, senators, congressmen, grow some fucking balls. And now, is this the week that the free internet dies? You've probably heard the argument about net neutrality and the vote that is coming up this Thursday by the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, to regulate the internet. And so the big question that everybody has is, what is net neutrality and what does it mean for you? It's one of those words that you hear a lot about right now in the news, but it's also one of those things that everyone's a bit, well, what exactly does it mean? Well, I'm going to break it down very briefly for you what it means. When you go online, you get on the internet, you have expectations. You expect that whatever www.blah-blah-blah.com you type in there will pop up, that you have complete control over your internet experience. That is what is referred to as net neutrality. It allows you to do whatever you want on there. And one of the basic principles of it is that it prohibits internet providers, companies like AT&T, Comcast, Verizon, from speeding up, slowing down, or blocking any content, applications, or any websites that you want to use. To give you a good idea of this, if you were to go to a place like, say, China, where they do not have net neutrality, you can't access certain websites. Anything by Google is banned. Anything Facebook related is banned. Twitter, banned. And net neutrality is the way the internet has always worked in America at least. However, this Thursday, the FCC is going to be voting on whether they will allow companies to filter and even censor what content you can see. So what does this mean in the real world? Well, what it means is that companies will decide who you hear, what you see. They'll be able to block content from any website that they feel is standing up against them. So, for instance, if on sothishappened.com we wrote "fuck AT&T, they're fuckers, fuck Verizon, they're fuckers," they could potentially block the website because of what I was saying about them. Now that's a silly example, of course, but where it gets more devious in some ways is when you have sort of groups that some people consider to be fringe groups, LGBT communities, black communities, Islamic communities. They can now have their information on their website blocked if the companies determine that they don't agree with what they're saying. But not only will they be able to block these websites, but they'll be able to throttle the amount of data and the speed that the data is processed. So if there's a website they don't like, they'll throttle it way back, so when anyone tries to go there, they're going to get that little spinny wheel that you just, fucking hell, the spinning wheel. You'll run to your modem, you'll unplug it, you'll plug it back in because you think that's the problem, but that's not the problem. The problem is that net neutrality no longer exists, and these companies can now do whatever they want to any website. And of course, we can't forget the most important thing, and that is money. So now you're going to have massive companies that have billions of dollars that want to advertise their product on the web. They will now be able to petition the internet providers to throttle the small guy, the little small business that's sort of trying to compete with them. They'll say, well, no, I don't like that, so here's $1 million. Just kind of make sure that their website doesn't show up as much on searches as my website, and if people do manage to get to it, it goes a little bit slow and they get the fucking spinny wheel. Okay, good. So now we can see that net neutrality is absolutely essential for small businesses who are trying to get off the ground, because with a free and open internet, it makes it easy for them to do. They're on a level playing field with the big boys or the big girls. You take that away, all of a sudden, these companies are never going to be able to get off the ground on the internet because they are continually going to be blocked by the big players in the game. So, what can you do about this? Well, the vote is on Thursday, so there is still time. Call your congressman. Write to them, email them, bombard them. Send them as many messages as you can to let them know that no, we want to keep the internet open and free and uncensored. That's how it was intended to be, and that is the only way it can work. It gives the little person a voice that they don't normally have. If net neutrality goes away, all of that goes away. Companies like Google, Facebook, Instagram would never have got off the ground because startups get absolutely shafted if net neutrality goes away. So that is your mission for the week. Get in touch with your congressmen, senators, get in touch with the FCC, tell them this is not okay. Net neutrality is massively important to the backbone of American businesses, the small businesses. And also massively important for a country that claims to be free. We have the right to access any information that we want from the internet. We are not to be told by companies or governments what we can or cannot see online. That is the beauty of the internet, and we cannot allow that to disappear. Anyway, rant over. Net neutrality, it's a big deal. Right, that's what I was getting at, essentially. Anyway, look, we are out of time for the day. And I wanted to just give a quick shout out to Amanda, who has become the latest member of the So This Happened family by becoming a patron of the show at Patreon, which you can get to if you go to our website, sothishappendshow.com. As of right now, you can still get there. It's not blocked. It's all cool. Anyway, if you do want to join Amanda and the others who support this show, that's always very, very well. we're grateful. That's it. I'm not very good at doing things about money, but it's always it's very lovely. It gives us a good feeling. It knows that people out there are enjoying what we do and appreciate it. Anyway, we can continue all these conversations on Twitter or Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe and like to the podcast, and we will do this all over again tomorrow. So take care, good night, and if you're in Alabama, get the fuck out there and vote right now. Good night.